Hey guys, this is Kunal from TradingSim. I hope you're doing well on this Saturday. I wanted to do a trade recap on a ticker HMNY. We've actually done a trade review on this stock before, but I thought this one was actually very important or very interesting. This was back from June the 15th, so it was earlier this week. And this, just for those of you who don't know, this was a story stock. It exploded. You can see by the chart here. We went up essentially I went up 1,500% in a matter of 3 days. So quite the run. And you know, we've seen just a handful of these in the past year or two. But what I wanted to do was walk you through how you could have actually taken a trade on this. There's a great intraday day trading opportunity on this stock. You know, but it's just you have to be prepared. So trading's is primarily about preparation. You need to know what your game plan is before you start the day. And so, you know, before I start the 15th trading day, you know, when we take a look at this stock, it basically ran from a buck up to it says 17 here on the high. So I just drew a quick Fibonacci retracement, and you can kind of see it came right back to the 50% retracement. And it's held there so far. So we don't want to just be taking a position because it hits the 50% retracement. That's a gambling style of trading, and that's just not what we do. But we want to look for a proper setup and a proper breakout from these levels. We want the market to tell us that this is actually going to be a good support level. So, you know, we've just messed around here for the past 3 days, albeit in a pretty wide range. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kick this thing off. So I'm looking at a daily chart here, right? And so why don't I move to a 5-minute chart? Okay. And so there's really nothing going here. I mean, you can kind of see this was yesterday's resistance on an intraday basis, about 1088, call it 11-ish, is where this stock kind of stopped. And if you look at the daily, right, you're going to see, yeah, about 1072 is going to be yesterday's high, and the previous day's high is around 1150. So in that range, I mean, if you start seeing this 1072 area, and really 11, because 11 is going to be that dollar magnet we want to see taken out. So really 11 being broken is going to be a sign that we could take a long in here. And again, this stock has volatile swings, so please do not be dumping your life savings into something like this, right? You have to size your positions according to the risk that the trade is presenting. So let's just go back to the 5-minute, and I'm going to speed this replay up just a little bit. You can kind of see on the open here, this thing is trying to push higher, but these spreads are just out of control, and you'll see this in the morning sometime, so you want to stay away from this. Again, we have that 15-minute rule, so you really don't want to touch stuff in the first 15 minutes. There's just too much nonsense going on. So I'm going to move it at 5 minutes per second here. You can see it's pulled back. It's just messing around. Yesterday's high was, you know, this 1072. Like I said, we really want to see 11 being broken out, and so, oh, I'm sorry. So let me just go back because we just missed it. Okay. So right here, you know, we want to have our alerts in place too, right? So you, as a trader, you want to know that you're not going to be watching this all day, right? Volume is extremely thin here, to the point where there's no shares being traded in some of these 5-minute bars. So, but you know, on a bigger picture, we looked at the daily chart, you know, from a bigger picture perspective, this stock has the potential to rip higher and fast. And so what we're starting to see here is we're starting to see some volume come into this stock. It's not a lot, but it is something. So let's just go 1 minute at a time. Okay, there we go. So on this bar, we saw a big amount of volume pushing through in relation to the previous bars, 50,000 shares. We took out that 11 area that I was talking about. right? We had 1072, but I wanted to see 11 taken out. So if you had a buy stop in there at 11, you could have gotten into this stock, and maybe the spreads were wide, so maybe you would have got in 5 or 10 cents higher than 11. But on this bar alone, we took out this 1150, and so what happens is this is triggering stops. If you look on the daily now, it's a huge green candle. But after we took 1072 and then really 11 out, at 1080 was the high from 2 days ago. We closed here at around 1035. So that 1050 to 11 area on this stock was really holding it back. And when we took it out, it's starting to squeeze people, and it's doing it very, very quickly. So again, this is a very high risk trade. Just want to make that very clear. Just because the volume is just not very big. So if you guys are like $1 million traders trading huge size, this is not going to be something that you're really going to get involved with, because there's just no liquidity in this stock. And so let's just keep moving through this. We know this stock can move up in a hurry. So I've pulled this back to the 5 minute, going back to that high spike up here at 17. And so really the next level of resistance that we have in here is probably up here. It's probably like 14, give or take, right around 14, right? So we're going to be looking for this stock to potentially get up there. And so let's just keep cycling through here. Right, so we hit that 14 area. So I think at that point, for those of you who have watched my previous videos, I don't gamble. I take my profits. So if I get it, if it hits a big resistance area, I'm out at least half, which is what I would have done in this scenario. I didn't trade this stock. I was busy trading something else, and I missed the opportunity. But let's just take a look at and see what's going on here. So we hit 1420 on this high bar here. The current bar is taking that out. 1442 was the high tick of this bar, right? The 9 EMA has been holding, but this failure is something we want to keep an eye on. This little tail that we got going on here. That 1420 area is a very big resistance area. And so what we're going to be keeping an eye on now for the second half of the position is that 9 EMA. And so we punched through it, and it held. If you see, I'm fast forwarding on a 5 minute basis. When you're trading this live, there's a lot of volatility, and there's going to be a lot of fear in your mind. And so on a break of that 9 EMA, you could have sold the second half of that position, because what we've seen here is basically a double top, and this was, the second top was essentially running stops, 279,000 shares. We took out the previous 5 minute high at 1420, and we failed. We couldn't hold that level. That was a sign that this thing was weak. So especially on this next red bar, if I zoom in a little bit, this next red bar right here kind of told you it didn't want to hold it, and this is a bad sign. When you see this 1310 low being taken out, that's that breakout bar, right? With that 300,000 shares, that's the breakout bar. That 1310 should not be broken. And so with that low plus the 9 EMA being taken out, right? 1310 was at low on multiple bars here. You could have set your stop at 1310 and been out of this stock. So let's just see what would have happened. I'm just going to let it run through the rest of the day now. We're setting up if you want to call it a head and shoulders top, but it's really 1250 is a support level at this point. And it just got taken out. So I hope this kind of shows you how you could have prepared for this trade. Number one, that was the key, especially with something that was trading erratically, that was trading with extremely low volume. That was the first key. Prepare for it. And once you got the order in place and you see that rip, we want to take half off on this spike up to a major resistance level at this 1420 area. And then what we want to notice on that second half is that, sorry, I'm on the next day here already. What we want to notice on the second half of this trade that we would have had is that, we had this double top here. And big volume, that 1310 was taken out. That's where you would have got the second piece off. So you would have probably taken an average of about 1350 on this trade from about an 11 entry. We're talking at least a 20% move as a day trader. When this thing broke that 1310, it was pretty much done. And, we trended down into the close right here. So, that level was about 1150. And they did actually rip it on the close back higher. But again, you don't want to be in that type of trade. You don't want to be taking a 25% drawdown after you've taken, a 20% drawdown after you've made that much on the way up. So that would be the way that I would have managed this trade. I hope that helps you guys. And if you have any questions, please email us at admin@tradingsim.com. And as usual, we have a 7-day trial you guys can try out. TradingSim would be a really great tool for a lot of you to, practice your pattern recognition, get your repetitions in, and basically, learn to make mistakes in a simulated environment versus using your live money to do that. And so anyways, I hope you have a great weekend, great Father's Day, and take care.